everybody, and happy Sunday, and welcome to the start of another reading vlog. Here is where I tell you all of the books that I have going and the books that I would like to get to, and then we'll see if I read any of them by the time the week is over. We know how that goes. So, we will start with, I have started Never Seen. Now, this one won't be finished in a week. It's big. But that's why I wanted to start it now, because I wanted to make sure I get it finished by the end of the month. It's 672 pages. Even though it is middle grade, that's still an investment in reading, and especially if I'm not enjoying it. So far, it's okay. I'm only on chapter 4, which is like 36 pages into it. So yeah, haven't gotten very far yet, but I am trying to remember to read it like at least a chapter or two before I go to bed, so that maybe I can get a little bit into it. If it really catches me and I really get invested and interested in it, then I can like fly through it. But if not, I need to be reading a little bit on it at a time so that I can get through it. We'll see how it goes. I am also reading To the Devil Encrypted by Hunter Shea. That is the buddy read that me and my friend Barb decided to start with for this month. We are doing 2 buddy reads and she wanted to start with that one, so I said that was fine. So this one is probably not going to take very long once I get going on it. It just depends on how much other things, because it is an ebook. It's off of KU, in case you're interested. But it's only 161 pages, which is why I said it's pretty short, so I should be able to get through it. Once I get wrapped up into it, if I'm really liking it, because I really like Hunter Shea's like cryptid type creature features, then I should be able to finish it pretty quick, so that's what I'm hoping. And yeah, this one is it's about the legend of the Goat Man, so it's kind of cool. I haven't read one of those, so I am interested to see what happens. And then I have let's see, what am I reading? Oh, The Bayou Book Thief by Ellen Byron. I'm about 30% into that one. It is an e-arc that I have, so I am reading it on my e-reader, and I'm enjoying it overall. It's not been too bad. I really like the setting, because I always like the New Orleans setting, and just the main character is a little flaky, and she kind of annoys me some, but overall I'm enjoying everything so far, so hopefully that continues. And it's the first book in the Vintage Cookbook series, I believe. Don't hold me to that. I think that's what it's called. Also, I am almost finished with Live or Let Chai by Bree Baker. It is the first book in the Seaside Cafe series, which is also Julianne Lindsay's like one of her little pseudonyms that she has. And I've been meaning to get to this series for a while, and I am really enjoying it so far, so I can't wait to finish that. Probably will be the first book I finish, and I'll probably come back later on today and let you know what I think of that, because I am, like I said, almost finished with it, listening to it on audiobooks. So okay, so other books that I would like to start, if I don't finish them, I would like to start them. This one comes out this month in June, so I would like to get to it. It's Onika and the Academy of the Sun by Toila Okogua. I can't pronounce it. And I probably should have looked it up before, but then I do that all the time and still can't remember how to pronounce it whenever I come to talk about it. But it's by this author, and it is about this young girl who has magic hair, and she gets sent to, because of that, she gets, her parents send her to Sun Academy or something like that. Academy of the Sun, or the Solari. So she's part of the Solari. It's one of the secret group of people with superpowers unique to Nigeria. And so her mother quickly whisked her off to the Academy of the Sun. So yeah, that's what, title, yeah, Academy of the Sun. And so we'll see what happens with her and her adventures whenever she gets there, and all the stuff that happens. Don't really know much about it. It sounded kind of interesting, though the hair thing makes me chuckle a little bit, because magic hair. but we'll go with it, and it's middle grade. We'll see what happens. Also, I would like to start my reread by listening to Jane Eyre. Forgot to get it down. I got it over here. I am doing a buddy read with a group on Mr. Francie Reed's Discord, and he's having to read it for an assignment that he's doing, and so we have jumped in to help him with that by reading it with him and doing a buddy read. And I really love Jane Eyre, but I was in my early 20s when I first read it, and I have not reread it. I have watched many adaptations since, because I love to watch all the adaptations, but I've not read the book in a while, so I'm kind of excited to get into that. So there is that, and I would like to get started on Murder in an Irish Churchyard by Carleen O'Connor. It's another buddy read that I am doing with a couple of people from the Killing Time with Cozy's book club on that Discord, and we are reading that together, and so I know they're going to be starting it soon, so I need to get to that. And I don't know, we'll just have to see after that where I get, because that's a lot of books to try to get to. So I want to read everything. I actually want to read a romance, like really bad. I want to put a romance in, so I may do try a chapter and see what happens. Maybe one of them will really pique my interest and I'll want to read one. We'll see. If I do that, I will make a video of it and pop it up, and it will probably be seen before this video. We'll see how it goes, if that happens. And so yeah, I will pop back on here whenever I have finished something. Hello, so I am back with my first read of the week, which I knew I'd be able to finish it today, and that is Live and Let Try by Bree Baker. It's the first book in the Seaside Cafe series. Bree Baker is also Julianne Lindsay, for those who know her by that name. She has written under a lot of different names, and I've read a lot of her cozy mysteries under those names. Excuse me. Plus the one under her actual name, Julianne Lindsay, and I've just never gotten to this one, and I know that a lot of people really enjoy it, and I know that some people were on the fence about it, and so I was kind of curious to just read it and see, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. So it is about Everly, who hasn't had a lot of luck, and so she has moved back home and hoping that, you know, things are going to go better in her hometown of Charm, and she sets up a Seaside Cafe. It's a tea cafe, an iced tea cafe, and she also, I think, sells like some little bakery goods or sandwiches or something too, but it's like a tea shop. And there's this one guy, he's a grumpy old man, and he didn't want her there. He fought her, trying to get her to not go there. Something about some kind of ordinance or whatever. Didn't want these new shops or whatever it is, but she is there, and he's always trying to just kind of harass her. She doesn't list the ingredients for her teas because they're special. I think it was her grandmother had made these recipes for the tea, and she just didn't want to share that with everybody. And so she was always arguing with him about how she wasn't going to list her ingredients and all that stuff. Well, then, of course, he ends up dead, and one of her specialty teas is beside him, and to find out that it has been poisoned, and so she is like the -- suspect, of course. And there is a new detective in town. His name is Grady, and he their first meeting was a bit funny and everything, and so he doesn't know her. He doesn't know her family. I mean, he's new to the town, so of course he suspects her of the crime until he gets to know her, of course. And I really like Grady, and he has a son, which you don't get that a lot. You don't get the men that have a child that are the police, so I thought that was kind of cool. You can kind of tell that, at least right now, that he is like high up there on probably in the romance department, of the cozy unless somebody else comes in. There is one guy that was sort of, his name, I think it was Martin, but I think he's older than Everly, and I'm not sure if how she felt about him, but I do know that it mentioned that he had, like, he was kind of handsome or something, so, you never know. And so this is the first one, so it's just kind of the setup of the town and all that stuff. Yes, the detective has a sad backstory of, what happened to his wife and all that, and a little bit of mystery too, because at the end, like, the grandmother of the child come with, like, it looked like the feds were coming to get them or something, so that was a little mystery with who is the grandmother. but overall, yeah, I really liked it. I liked Everly. Sometimes I thought she was a little dumb with some of her decisions, but overall, she is an amateur sleuth, and she was trying to figure out, who might have done it to not, be the suspect. I mean, so, and I must say I didn't even figure it out. I feel like I should have known, and it was kind of one of those that because you think it won't be that person, that was that person, and it was like, oh, really? and so, yeah. But overall, I liked it. I can't wait to get to the second book and see what else is going to happen. I know this is a finished series, so I can plow right through them all the way to the end and not have to wait if I want to. I'm not much of a binger, so I don't know when I'll get to the second one. It depends on how much this one sits with me, if I want to do another one this month or not. I've left some of my month open for mood reading, and this was kind of one of those because it was not actually on my TBR that you've seen a few days ago. So I've already gone rogue on the TBR. So we'll see what happens. Currently still reading, like I've mentioned before, Bayou, Book Thief by Ellen Byron. 30% into that, so I hope to be able to get that one done soon. I just don't read fast, especially like ebook and physical, and so it takes me a little bit longer, and so sometimes they get pushed down for audiobooks because I know I can get through them quicker. I have started another audiobook. I started The Silence by Heather Graham. It is, I think it's 12 or 13 in, let me think. It's the Crew of Hunter series, and, I was way off. It's the 15th book in the Crew of Hunter series. I've gotten farther than I thought. I am reading them in order, even though I know technically you don't need to read them in order. It's just how I do things. And this was the next one I needed to read. I'm listening to it. I'm not real happy that the fact that it doesn't have Luke Daniels as the narrator. It has some other guy. But I'm going to listen to it anyway and see how it goes. This one was not on my TBR either. It was just one of those that I seen on AnyPlay. And I thought, I'm going to listen to it since I re-upped for a month of AnyPlay for a different book that I couldn't get after I re-upped. So I need to get my money's worth. So I'm going to listen to some things off of there. And so, yeah, that's one of them that I'm listening to. And yeah, and it's on my SAS list, so, it works. That's okay. And yeah, so that's pretty much what's going on right now. And I'm rambling on way too much, so I will see you whenever I finish something else. Hello everybody, it is Wednesday. It is a rainy, nasty, dreary Wednesday. So tired of rain, but enough about that. So I am here because I've got 3 books to talk about. One is like super short. Basically, I've got a lot of books that I had out on Overdrive that I didn't get to in May, and so I'm trying to get to some of those if I can, and especially the ones that are fairly short. And one of those was Miss Daisy is Crazy by Dan Gutman, and this is the first book in the My Weird School series. It's definitely a children's story. It's 96 pages, very short. Very, very fun, very short. It's basically about this kid whose name I can't remember. And it doesn't say his name on here. What was his name? Anyway, I can't remember his name, and I don't see it on here, but it's about a kid who basically doesn't like going to school. And when Miss Daisy was asking, some of their, like, what are they like and things like that, he's like, I like this, but I definitely don't like school. So she's kind of an oddball teacher, but she's a smart teacher. She's teaching these kids who don't want to be there by saying things like, well, I don't like to be here either. She's like, who wants to be at school when I could be out swimming, I could be doing this, I could be relaxing and everything, but no, I'm here trying to teach you guys. And we were talking about math, and she's like, I don't know anything about math. How do you do this? How do you, and they'll be showing her, like, you don't know math? And so the kids are, like, showing her, well, if you had 15 of these and you took away this, and, and basically she's tricking them into doing their mathematics because she's talking about how she doesn't know any of this stuff. And the one kid, he's like, man, I don't know how in the world she become a teacher, and she doesn't know anything. And she does that throughout the whole book. That's pretty much how she gets the kids to, like, learn things, is to pretend that she doesn't know anything about it. And then they're like, what? And then they have to teach her because they feel bad that she doesn't know it. And so they, like, teach her how to do it. And so by doing that, they are learning their math and science and things like that. And so it's kind of funny. And like I said, it's 96 pages. It was really short. And it's a fairly long series. I have read books by Dan Gutman before. I read the Genius Files by him, and I really like them. And I've always been curious about the My Weird School. And there are, how many are there here? There are 21. 21 books in that series. So yeah, if I want to keep going, I got quite a few I can go through. But yeah, they're just a lot of fun. Anyway, enough about that. The next one I have is WILLODEEN by Catherine Applegate. And you can definitely tell I kind of went off TBR and off of any of the books that I said I was going to be reading at the beginning. I think we know this happens, so it's not surprising. Anyway, this was another one of the books that I had on my overdrive. And it was only a 4-hour audiobook, and so I thought I could go ahead and get it done. And it was cute. A little preachy on the environmental thing to me, but I'm sure a lot of people will enjoy it. It's got a very good rating. I give it 3 stars. I thought it was just a fine middle grade book about 11-year-old WILLODEEN who she adores creatures of all kinds. And there is this one creature that's called the Screecher, and it's got a bad reputation because, well, of course, it's loud, which is why it's got the name Screecher, but it smells really bad. Whenever it hits its tail or whatever, like, nasty smells come out, and nobody likes the Screechers. So they have actually been hunting down all the Screechers and killing them. And there's also this little creature which looks adorable. It's on the cover, as you can see, and I wouldn't mind having one of those around me. And it's a hummingbird instead of a hummingbird. It's a hummingbird. And there are these little creatures, and they've been disappearing. Like, they haven't been coming back. And this, like, community needs these hummingbirds to produce whatever they do, and they're not there, but they have a vital role, in, like, the whole nature thing. And it's pretty much WILLODEEN, her friend makes her a carving, and so it's got kind of like, I guess, fantasy, magical realism a little bit or something. I don't know, but he makes her a carving of a Screecher, and then it comes alive. So they're trying to protect this little Screecher baby from the hunters that want to, like, kill all the Screechers. But what they have found is that every time they were having a hard time digging up these snails for the screecher to eat. So if they put it in a harness and would lead it over there and let it do its own digging and stuff because it has claws and stuff. It'd find these, and it seems like on the trees that the screecher was digging up these snails and things. The hummingbirds were nesting and everything, and that made Willowdean think that the screechers were very vital to the environment because they were doing something, maybe getting rid of those snails because that's what they ate, which made the hummingbirds come back and nest. And it was cute. And like I said, it's very, very environmental. And so if that is your thing and you like that and you have kids that are very into that, then they'll probably like this. It's got a super cute cover. Really, and it was like, it's 272 pages. So it was like 4 hours on audiobook. So it was really cute and really quick. And so the next one I have is The Silenced by Heather Graham, which I believe is number 15 in the Crew of Hunter series. And happens to be a book series that's on my SAS list that I've been meaning to get to this year, but I haven't really worked on my SAS list very much. So I have Anyplay, and I've talked about this before. I got it when I wanted to listen to Encyclopedia Brown, but then whenever I got it, they didn't seem to have it after I looked it up and they had it, and I couldn't listen to anything. And I'm like, well, I subscribed for like a month, and I want to get my $9.99 worth, so I've been finding things on there, and it was on there, and it was in my like favorites or whatever, because I put all the stuff in my like library that I'd like to listen to, and so I just picked it and I listened to it. My big disappointment is it didn't have Luke Daniels as the narrator. It had somebody named Phil Gamonti or something like that. And Luke Daniels, to me, is just the Crew of Hunter series, and I know that I've heard some of the newer ones, he's not on there anymore, and that's like a real big bummer, because he is one of my favorite narrators. But yeah, so that was kind of the bummer with this one, but other than that, I absolutely loved it. It was 4 stars. It was just a lot of fun. I mean, they're very formulaic, and they're always really a lot alike. I mean, there's not a lot of substance, maybe, I guess, to them. You always know what you're gonna get when you go into a Crew of Hunter book, and that's what I like with these books. It's just like, you know, it's a comfort read. Okay, so this one is about Meg Murray, and she is just now finishing up her academy and stuff, and she's becoming an FBI agent, and one of her longtime friends, Laura, goes missing. And she's pretty sure that there's something wrong with it. Like she wants to be involved in everything. And since she is a novice FBI agent, and it was a friend, they have Jackson and some of the others have decided to, because Laura, her friend, had worked for a congressman, let her work with one of the Crew of Hunter guys, which his name is Matt. Also, they know, Harrison, who is like the guy who's over everything, and so he'll pop up now and then, maybe not have a big part in some of the books, but he's always around. And he's actually in this one, I think, a lot more than he is in some of the other ones, and I think it's because it deals with congressmen and things like that and people he knows. And Jackson, who you meet in book 1, because he runs like the branch from the beginning, because like every 3 or 4 books kind of changes over to like a new branch. They might be in a different state or something like that, but they're all still very connected, and Jackson is like the head of like the whole thing, like below Harrison, I would say. And so he's in this one, and he assigns Matt to work with her, and they kind of bump heads a little bit at first because he's a kind of a senior guy, and here she is a novice, and she had to make it a point a lot of times that I went through the academy. And he's like, yes, we know this, you know, or whatever, and they bump heads a lot and everything. but he really respected her and her like hunt for her friend and all that kind of thing. And this had to do with some Civil War stuff, and they're always very filled with historical kind of things. They're in Richmond, Virginia, and they travel to all these different places trying to find Laura, because she's almost certain that she's probably dead because she seen her while she was taking a shower in the steam. But Matt thinks that maybe she was, because she knows that she's very sensitive, maybe she projected something to her, that maybe she's not dead. And so they're trying to go to different places that they think Laura might have hid out if she was found something hinky going on with the congressman, and some things that maybe she was hiding because she was afraid somebody was after her. And so they're going from one place to another that has like a historical kind of thing, battlefields and stuff like that, that Laura and Meg used to go to when they were younger and stuff like that, trying to find out where she's at and what's happened. Meanwhile, there is a serial killer on the loose, and he is the one that may have Laura. And you kind of know this because you get like the point of view from him, and how things started with him and why he does it, and like somebody is pulling his strings kind of. But the more he kills, the more he really likes it, and so he thinks that this is probably his calling or some sort, And yeah, so he's been doing his thing, and they've been finding these bodies, and she's afraid. That's why she's afraid that Laura is going to be one of the victims. And so it's kind of a race against time to try to find her friend before she does end up being one of the bodies, if she's not already, because they don't know. And along the way, they have some Civil War soldier ghosts and things like that help them along their way. I liked Meg because she adopted one of the victims' dog, and his name is Killer, and he sounds like a cute little dog. And he actually helped her out a few times because he could sense when something was not right. So Matt did not like him at first and thought, it's a waste of time to take this dog and everything. And she's like, I know you don't think I should have done this, but he's all like, it's your thing, if you wanted to take the dog. But then the dog saved their butt a couple times, so then he's like, well, maybe it was a good thing you took the dog. But yeah, I really liked it. It's just a very comfort read for me, this series. I can't wait to get to the next one. I always know that I'm probably going to enjoy and have a good time when I am with the crew of hunters. So 4 stars, really liked it. And now I really need to get back to the books that I'm supposed to be reading. Still working on all the ones from before, but I have added in, because after I finish The Silence, I do need to get to Murder at the Irish Churchyard by Carleen O'Connor. It's number 3 in the Irish Village series. And buddy reading that with a couple of people, and I know one of them has started it, so I wanted to go ahead and get started. I don't want to be the last one to read, so I need to get it started. And yeah, and hopefully I don't go off the rails, and maybe I can get some of the ones that I'm actually supposed to be getting done. We'll see. Hello everybody. I feel like I haven't been very active on this vlog this week, so I apologize about that. I don't know, I've kind of went down the rabbit hole of watching TV, and that's one of the reasons why I don't watch a lot of new TV, because I can listen to reruns all day long and read if I want or whatever, but when it comes to a new show, then I have to concentrate, so that's why I don't watch a lot. But I've kind of went down a rabbit hole, so maybe I just needed a break, which is okay. First I watched Signora Volpe, I think that's what it's called. It's on Acorn TV. It's the first first season. There's only 3 episodes, and all 3 episodes are like an hour and 23 minutes. I complained about how long Stranger Things episodes were, and they were an hour and like 12 minutes, so I guess that depends on how interested I am in the show, whether it bothers me or not. Because I really liked all 3 episodes. I wish there was more. There was only 3. But that is how a lot of British TV is. There's always long episodes and few of them. I hope there's going to be more because I really did like this one. So fingers crossed that they will put more out. And then I keep seeing the Downton Abbey New Era commercials for like the trailer for the new movie or whatever. And it got me to thinking that I've never ever finished Downton Abbey. I think I got to maybe 4 seasons in, and I think there's 6 seasons. Got really mad at the end of the 3rd season. I remember that. We all know why, if you've seen it. And then I just kind of, I was watching it on PBS, I think, as it came out. And then I just kind of floated away from it and forgot. And then I just never went back to it because I couldn't get it because I didn't have like the programming. And now it's on Peacock, and I've got Peacock Premium just so that I could watch some shows and stuff that I wanted to, and it's not that expensive, and so it's on there so I can watch it. And I am currently on the 2nd season, so I've watched quite a bit this week, and I think I'm on season 2, episode 2. So yeah, so that's kind of where all I've been, but I have managed to get 2 more books read, and so I'm going to talk about those today and then just kind of wrap up the vlog. And hopefully there's enough content and good content to post. Because yeah, I just haven't been reading a lot. So the first one I'm going to talk about is Murder at the Fortune Teller's Table by Janet Finsilver. It's the 3rd book in the Kelly Jackson mystery series, I believe. And Kelly Jackson is a lady who is running the Red Cove B&B. It's been several years. I probably should have looked it up. But it's been several years since I've read the first 2 books. And I needed a B&B book for Killing Time with Cozy Scavenger Hunt. And I didn't want to start a new series. So I was looking through all my Cozy series that I've, at least read a book or 2 from. And try to find one. Finding out that I don't have a lot of B&B cozies that I've read. So I found this one and I was like, oh, I really need to, kind of finish this series up or get caught up. I don't know if it's a finished series or not. There's a lot more out in it now than I remember there being, so there's that. But this one was the 3rd book, and it was pretty good. Like, there wasn't a lot of connection with the characters because, like I said, it's been a long time since I've read the other 2 series, so I feel like I'm getting to know a Kelly all over again because I don't remember anything from the other one. And I was talking about it earlier, like I didn't even know if she had like a boyfriend or a guy that she crushed on or anything, because I didn't get that vibes in this one, and it's the 3rd book, so I was like, either something happened in the first 2 books and I don't remember, or it's a really slow process and I just didn't pick up any vibes in this book. I don't know. Or maybe she just isn't interested in that, which is cool. And that was fine. But it was just like, I'm just trying to get to know her and some of the characters again. Like there was a guy, I think his name is Daniel or David, and I think he had a kid, and there was this other kid, and there was dogs, lots of dogs. And everything. But basically, you got the fortune teller lady, and she told the fortune to this lady, Summer, and she got all upset. And there are this older group of people called the Silver Sentinels, and they are kind of like private investigators, I guess you could say, kind of. They like to stick their nose in and find things, and people have hired them and asked them to do this. And she asked them to find these people because she needed to talk to them because her fortune. It was a matter of life and death type of thing, and she needed to talk to these people. She had a secret. And then all these people come, or on their way to being here, and then somebody finds the fortune teller and I think her name was Summer. Both of them are dead, and they are thinking that the fortune teller accidentally poisoned them with hemlock, because she does have a lot of herbs and things like that, and she makes her own teas and stuff. But then they're like, no, I don't think that's what it did. And they think it had to have something to do with this group of people that were coming, because the secret was a pretty big secret, and it could affect a lot of people, and they knew what the secret was, and they went ahead and told these people and everything. But it seems like maybe somebody must have knew about things beforehand. Not a lot of them were very nice people. It was very hard to figure out who the killer was. I did not figure it out. I didn't. I just didn't. I was just listening to it, and I thought, they could all do it for, it was just really hard for me on this one. I didn't have a clear-cut one that I thought, oh, that one is the one that done it. Because a lot of times I can figure out, oh, that's the one that done it, but I don't got the motive. But I just didn't have a feeling with any of them. But I liked it. I enjoyed it. I give it 4 stars. Maybe now, since that one's fresh, I will kind of continue on with the series so that it doesn't, fall out. That's my goal, is to try to catch up on some of these cozies that I've only read a couple from, and then I never finished. And it's not because they were bad, it's just because I'm really bad with sticking with series, and I'm trying really hard to stick with more series, and not just reading one, because I do that a lot. I read a lot of book ones, so we gotta straighten that out. So the next one that I have to talk about is The Bayou Book Thief by Ellen Byron. This is one of my e-arcs that I had. It's the first book in the Vintage Cookbook Mystery series. I was very nervous about this one because I really like Ellen Byron's Cajun Country series, and going into a new series by a favorite it's really hard, because what if you don't like it like you like the other one? It just doesn't hold up to that other one, and this has kind of happened with this one. So this one is about Ricky, and she has a interesting backstory. She's only 28 years old, and she's a widow, and her husband had a show called Crazy or whatever, because I'm guessing his name was Chris, and he was crazy. But anyway, he did all these weird stunts, these stupid stunts, and something happened. I will not say what, because I think you should just go into that and figure out things. But anyway, something happened. Not only did she have that happen to her, but her old boss ripped a bunch of people off, and she worked for him accumulating book collections of first editions. She was a first editions collector person, and so she's been thrown into that scandal because she was buying these books with stolen money, pretty much. So she moves from Los Angeles back to New Orleans, because that is where she's from. Her adopted parents, because she was adopted, they were lived in around the Hollywood area, I guess, or something like that. And so she's moved back. She still has a lot of LA in her, because she says awesome and things like that, and people are always looking at her like, she's like, I gotta quit saying that. But soon enough she embraces her roots of being from there. But she collects old vintage cookbooks and cooking items and things like that, vintage stuff. And she wants to open up a gift shop at this really fancy, so she wants to open up a culinary house museum at the Bonvie Culinary House Museum in the legendary, the Genevieve or V Cabernet. She was a restauranteur, and her house or whatever is a museum now, and that she wanted to open this kitchen thing. And so that's what she's doing at the beginning, is going to meet the madame who runs the place, Eugenia, and she is like a descendant of this famous lady, and they let her go ahead. They think it's a good idea to open up this, but in doing so, one of the tour guides, Franklin, who seems to like to steal books and things like that, he does still try to steal some books from there and gets caught, and he ends up dead. And so a lot of the people at the Bon V are kind of suspects, and Ricky is one of them. And so she feels kind of guilty because she's new there, and it was her business that had this happen, and she doesn't want to put a stain on the Bon V, so she feels like she has to kind of look into things. So my only problem is with Ricky. Her name is Miracle, and they call her Ricky, and I think it's really far-fetched to get Ricky out of Miracle, but we'll go with it. And anyway, she's just very flaky to me. Like, she's kind of wishy-washy, and I don't like that. Some people might say that it's probably more realistic, but she becomes like this babbling brook when the police detective interviews her, you know, about what happened. And all the stuff that's coming out of her mouth makes her sound guiltier and guiltier and guiltier. And it's like, shut up. Just shut up. And she does that several times talking to the lady detective. And, I mean, the lady just looks at her like, you know, kind of like thinking probably to herself, you really should just shut up, you know? And then she's one of those that jumps to a lot of conclusions. She thinks she's got this really great idea who done it, and so she'll call like the detective, and she has another, you know, oh it's probably this, and she calls the detective. I'm really surprised the detective didn't block her number, because I would have. And you know, she does, you know, eventually puts the stuff together, but you know, it was just kind of bleh. Okay, so I'm really rambling on about this, and anyway, I probably would have gave it 3.5 stars, but I'm giving it 4 stars, probably for like the last 15 to 20% of the book, because that's when all the good stuff happened. That was when she gets rescued by some dogs, and it was a lot of fun, and it just kind of went one thing after another, and it was just very eventful and everything, and I really enjoyed the like last 15 to 20% of the book. I wasn't really caring for a lot of the other because I didn't really care for Ricky. It has a lot of great side characters though, because I do like Lila, and I like Zayla, and Virgil's okay. I'm on the fence about him. He's like the handsome chef, and I don't know about him yet. And the Madame Noisette, I'm probably saying it wrong, French names. She was pretty cool. She has her signature color. I am wearing her signature color, purple. And so yeah, so it's got a lot of colorful characters. So I am really interested in reading the next one to see what I think about it. This might be one where I just don't care for the main character as much as I care for all the other stuff that's going on that has happened. I do hope that I warm up to the main character more. But like I said, it was almost 3 to 3.5, but I am going to bump it to 4 stars because I really did like all the side characters, and that last part was just a lot of fun. So yeah. So that's the last book that I am going to manage to get through, because it is Saturday now, and I usually wrap things up on Saturdays, and I just know that I'm not going to finish anything because I'm probably going to watch more Downton Abbey. So this week I read 6 books, or basically I listened to 5 and read 1, if you want to put it that way. I did a lot of audiobooks, which is really good considering I watched a lot of TV. And so the first book I had was Live and Let Chai by Bree Baker. It's the first book in the Seaside Cafe series, and I liked it. Thought it was a good start to a new series. I gave it 4 stars. Wow, I can't speak. And then I listened to Miss Daisy is Crazy by Dan Goodman, and I gave this one 3 stars. It was cute, but it was short, like 96 pages. 45 minutes on audio, even quicker than that because I listen to my books a lot quicker. And then WILLODEEN was okay. It was decent. It was like 4 hours on audiobook, I believe, and I gave it 3 stars. And then I had The Silenced by Heather Graham. This is like my comfort reads. I love the Crow Hunter series. I gave this 4 stars. It's a lot of fun. Then I had Murder at the Fortune Teller's Table by Janet Finn Silver. I don't know why I want to call her Silverman. But Janet Finn Silver. And I gave it 4 stars. I enjoyed it. It's the 3rd book in the Kelly Jackson mystery series. And then I had Bayou Book Thief that I got as an e-arc. It's by Ellen Byron. It's the 1st book in the vintage cookbook series. And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I got it from Berkeley. So thank you, Berkeley and NetGalley. And yeah, that's everything I believe that I read this week. And so have you read any of these books? Did you like any of these? Let me know about it down in the comments. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye.